What is going on, guys? Hayden here, and today we are going to be working on Kyle's wagon. So right now, before I get started, I had to take the oil return line off and the oil feed line off, so I already got that out of the way. Right now I do have the one part of my turbo holder jig on the turbo. So now all I really need to do is kind of eyeball it and guesstimate where this is going to go. And so I don't know, I've showed this before, but it was a while ago. This is my little adjustable holder that allows me to basically put the turbo where I want it. Now, there are some limits to this thing, but I really haven't had any issues with it yet. So basically, over here, it's really crude. I made this like before this is like one of the first things I made when I first started to weld. And so this basically adjusts the in and out on it, so how wide the engine bay is, and then this allows me to slide it whichever way, rotate it whichever way, and then once I slide the pole in, I can actually adjust the height, and I can adjust like how it's clocked. So yeah, it comes in really handy trying to put this big turbo in this engine bay. This is an EF wagon, so the engine bay is tighter on these EFs. Of course, obviously, he is going to be relocating some of this stuff out of the way. So more than likely, when I make one of these runners, it might be really close to this stuff. Gonna try to avoid the heater coil lines as much as possible because he wants to keep them. But I'm pretty sure I should be able to do it. This thing also has a booster delete on it, so that'll free up a lot of room. The Borg Warner we have is an S369, I believe. If it's actually off Brent's car. The frame of it isn't as big as a huge precision that he acts like he might run, but I'm gonna leave some extra space away from everything, so that way if he wants to upgrade to something that's a little bit bigger, he'll have zero issues with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and place a turbo on the holder and get to working on this thing. It's pretty early today. I really wanna try and get the majority of this knocked out so I can work on other projects. I'm really busy right now, and I have a really cool project coming at the end of the week. So let's get started on this thing. I did not film putting the turbo on there and adjusting it. It took forever. It kind of was a pain to fight this thing because of the angle this thing needed to be, put at. It was kind of hard for my little jig holder to hold it since it's such a big turbo. But I did get it where I want it. And I did just call Kyle, so let me show you guys real quick. I got it in between these two sensors, so that way if he upgrades to a bigger turbo, I won't have any issues. Also fits over here. This turbo has this really big V-band flange welded to it. And so he does have the booster delete, which, I mean, it'd be impossible to do this with the booster. But just to show you guys real quick, this is a 3-inch 45. And now he'll be running a 3-inch downpipe. And so this is how close it is. He could angle it down like this and get away from it more. I don't think I'll have any issues with it, but when I called him and talked to him, I told him. So two things, right, is I just showed you guys that, which that's really tight. And then also this radiator's gonna be moved to run the intercooler pipe. Now, I don't know where he's gonna run it, but I imagine he's gonna have to run it down like that because there's really no room to run it anywhere else. So yeah, those are two things. Need to move the radiator, and he may have to make a heat shield for the bottom of the master cylinder, which I don't think he's gonna have to. On Carlos's Integra, which is the first Sidewinder I ever did, his without a heat shield was fine, and his downpipe runs really close to it, just like this one. So I don't think he's gonna have any issues with that. He said he might come over just so he can see where it's at and everything, so that way he can approve of it basically before I start doing stuff that's gonna be hard to change. So yeah, it only took me about an hour of fighting with this thing to get this thing where I wanted it, but really like to take my time and get it exactly where I want it, so that way I have zero fitment issues. And I might have him bring his other turbo over just to double check that with the other precision exhaust housing that he's gonna put on it, he's not gonna have issues with it being too close to the master cylinder. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting a runner tacked up for it, so that way I can unbolt the turbo and then take the flange and the collector off so I can run the other runners. I may just jig this really quick because I want to make sure that it doesn't move at all. So So I got the runner all mocked up and all the pieces cut and all it prepped out. So I moved the car forward a little bit. Gonna go ahead and mock up this runner. It is gonna be the number 2 runner here in the middle that is going over to here. So we'll start that time lapse right now. I just got the 3 other runners all prepped and mocked up. Now I just need to tack them. Looking pretty good. All my manifolds now are polished. It's not gonna focus because it's so shiny, but all of my manifolds now are polished and it is the standard finish from now on. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do about this. I'm probably gonna tack up the 3 other runners, weld them, and then tack another one on and then cut this one off and weld it. Because if you guys haven't watched any of my videos before building a manifold, I actually do cut the runners off and I weld them on the bench. I'm basically guessing the shrinkage on them and anything that is I normally guess too much. I err on the side of too much, that way they're not too short. So this one, for example, people will say, oh, it doesn't look like it lines up. And you'd be correct, but it's because I'm guessing the shrinkage. So every single weld is gonna pull this way and then down. So basically I guess the shrinkage, and then that way if it's still too much up, I can belt sand this side of it right here and it'll bring it down and it'll adjust it just a little bit. I've scrapped plenty of runners before even guessing it, so it is kind of a pain, but I like doing it this way because it seems like it puts a lot less stress on all the welds. I can't imagine. I remember when I first started, I used to weld them all up tacked in the jig, and by the time I was done with it, I'd go to unbolt it from the jig and the whole manifold would pull the jig up, or like it would distort so bad that it would not fit the same. So, and I imagine that would add a lot of stresses to the manifold. So I think this is the best way to do it. This is the majority of the way that most manifold builders do it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get these tacked up. I might do a time lapse for you guys, I'm not really sure. I feel like the time lapse are kind of cheesy, but we'll see. Get these 3 tacked up, get them welded. I have about 1,000 PSI left in my argon tank, so I don't know if I will get all of it done today, but I'm gonna try and get it done. I may run to General Air real quick. I don't even know if they're open because it's Martin Luther King Day or whatever it is. And so if they're not open, have to finish it tomorrow. But yeah, made some pretty good progress on it so far. Just double checking, making sure all the runners fit. Looks like we have 0 issues. So, like I said, the brake proportioning valve will be relocated according to Kyle, so should have no issues with that. I don't like the fuel filter being right there. I'm definitely gonna recommend him to move it. hot stuff next to fuel stuff is a bad idea. So I double checked that the turbo did fit. I didn't bolt it to it because I don't want it to break and lose my spot, but I did hold it up there. It all fits exactly how I wanted it to. Fitting the wastegate on it is gonna be a little bit of a challenge. It's probably going to 45 down and over that way. So I'm gonna go ahead, take the manifold back off, cut the tacks on 3 of the runners, and go ahead and start welding. So I just got this all welded up. It is all done, minus decking the flanges. I think it came out pretty good. So Kyle is on his way right now to come pick it up. Just gotta unbolt the heatsink from the flange and then deck the T4 flange and the head flange. So it'll be all done for him. Do that real quick and then get this thing out of here and move on to the other projects I gotta do. You guys think I was gonna show you guys it all installed? That turbo looks huge. Got 2 bolts in it for mock-up. Fits pretty good. It's on the brake proportioning valve, close to the fuel lines, like I said. Plenty of room to run the exhaust right here. Wastegate fits great. What'd you think, dude? It's pretty close to the shifter cable though, like really close. So I hope that bracket you get, or like what type of bracket is it going to be? Is it really tall?
I forgot about that. It's the K-tune bracket.
Is it big though? I thought almost all of them, like they mount down low, like how this one is.
I think it should still work.
That's what I'm. Well, and this Turbo 2 has a big 1.3 AR housing. So I was thinking that all the K series I've seen, they mount down low like that other one does.
Yeah, no. I forgot.
I just didn't want to like. So the reason why I put it down so low is if you come over here and look on the hood line, it's like almost like right where you may have to trim some webbing, but it's like almost perfect.
That should be perfect. Good, dude.
So it just has 2 bolts in it. So and then let me grab you this piece of downpipe. Look.
Like that, bro?
Check it out. And then like just set it in there. That's like a 5-inch V-band, but you should have plenty of room to do the exhaust.
Plenty.
And then, I don't know, you may just want to run the dump tube like right into the exhaust. Might be the best bet for you. But it's a pretty tight fit, dude. It took me forever to do the wastegate entry on that. So.
That should be perfect though.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a big turbo, dude. It looks ridiculous in there. And then
it's not going to be using this turbo, at least not yet anyways.
Yeah, and then that intercooler pipe should be able to, you should just be able to go like, just angle it over a little bit and then just straight down through there. So, or I don't know, or
I was gonna try
like
to get
down this way and then down that way maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was gonna try to, I might get like a speed factory radiator.
It'd be pretty dope, like a tucked one.
Put it right here. Try to see if it'll fit right here, and then I can just backdoor it right here.
Oh, okay.
We'll have that intercooler the same side, so I was just gonna put a 90 on it, so it's right here, and then the upper one will just go right to the throttle body.
Decent.
I can clear up some more space right here.
Decent.
I still gotta figure it out.
And then I left like a little bit of room too where this compressor housing is, so that way if you want to go with like even a little bit bigger precision like those big boys, like the 70 whatevers, you should have some room there.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever need more than that, honestly.
Yeah, but
I mean, that turbo is good for 1,000, so.
Yeah. I bet.
Maxed out at least, but.
It's a big turbo.
Wago's making 1,000 one day.
Dude, and you can finally pick up your manifold.
No way.
Dude, you just weren't ready. Dude, that manifold was ready for you. You just weren't ready for it.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to mark it, man.
Shut your ass up, boy. Nah, yeah, I finally got it done for you.
Is it hot still?
No, dude, I welded it yesterday.
Off the press, dude?
I welded it yesterday.
Yeah, it came out good there. I like it.
Yeah, I was surprised it would fit there, but Now both of you guys can make some power. Now I just got to finish the RX-7.
Finally picking up the hungry manifold.
I know. How
It's
long
just
has
been
it
sitting
been?
here this whole time.
Yeah, we haven't really needed it yet, but we're gonna need it for this season for sure. Trying to make some stain.
Luce, what do you think?
I think Lucy approves.
She's like, I'm tired. I drove around all day in Denver.
When are you gonna put a manifold on Lucy?
So that is going to be the end of this video, guys. Just to let you guys know, a heads up, Derek will be bringing his Civic at the end of this week. So, well, basically on Friday. So I hope you guys are ready for that project that's coming. Be sure to go on my page and hit the little bell icon, I believe, so that way you can get notifications. So that way you can see when we upload, because you're not going to want to miss that project. For anybody who's interested, I will be ordering all the fuel stuff, the fuel pump, fuel lines, fuel cell, and everything for the RX-7 on Friday. I'm gonna go with a Magna Fuel 750, some nice lines, and a fuel cell that sits up nice and high in the rear there. So got all that fuel system ordered for now. I will be later in a couple weeks, I will be ordering a converter for it also. And other than that, all I need is the time, and that's really it, just the time after that to put it all together and get the RX-7 done. So hope you guys are ready. The next month or so is gonna be Derek's Civic, which pretty cool. He's already kind of, I'll put a link down below to his channel, go check that out. He's already kind of given away what we're gonna do to it. So between his Civic and my RX-7, should have a lot of content for you guys for the next couple months. So hope y'all ready for that. Like I said before, go to my website, get a t-shirt. If you don't want one, don't do it then. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya. Lucy, get that fox. Get it. Get it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Sit down. Hey, let go of it. Such a clown.